my international connections were through Keenholz, Ed Keenholz, who showed here in the 70s, magnificent show in Douglas Hyde, and then later here in the Hugh Lane. And his stuff was all social. It was all to do with social society and war.
Mr. Keenholz has total recall. Every piece of furniture in this room, the carpeting, the draperies, the wallpaper, and so on, are exactly as they were in this particular brothel in Las Vegas in 1943. The war was going on at this time, and you will see a soldier's jacket hanging on the wall.
The Navy's way of going to war is to have a machine find the enemy, and on the machine shoot down the enemy, and you just sit there and watch the buttons.
Maybe when I was young and the Vietnam War was just over, there was more room for political work.
How does it affect you?
This is life to me. I mean, I'll see people and things and conditions.
I haven't ever come in contact with things like that. I've always been protected in my own little middle-class world.
This is exactly what's going on in everybody's mind. That's how come they're all here, craning their necks to see it. They don't think that nobody else is actually has the same feelings that they do.
People should have more of this thrown in their faces so that they can realize that everything isn't country clubs and beautiful pictures and flowers in the gardens.
That was what formed me, and I'm not interested in decorating anybody's wall.
I've known Brian for 42 years, so I'm very familiar with most of the work. I've seen it in the making. I know where he's coming from, and I know where he's seeking to go. But from my knowledge, I don't know anybody else in Ireland who pursues work the way Brian does. He's drawn to places where it's almost like as if he feels he's needed to throw some light upon something that's happening somewhere that we should know about.
The source of the work comes from a response, a human response. Usually it's anger. I'm just the same as everybody else. I could make pleasant work about family and stuff, perhaps I could, but I choose not to. I mean, I really do want to get my own back with these works. There is a sense of resistance, a sense of no, I'll not allow that. I'll make a mark somewhere, somehow, that will be there, a mark. That's all it is, to say this happened. Where I'm from is not of particular relevance to this. There is one picture in the place which is to do with the banking collapse here. The reason I don't work in Ireland is, to be honest, Ireland is so small that you're going to know everyone once you start working. I didn't want, during the troubles here, to become like an assistant to one side or another in it. So I backed off and went elsewhere. With Mexico, they were young factory workers and they were being raped and murdered and then dumped. And then the government didn't bother investigating. So it was that caused me to go down. And then once you get there, I just followed the connections I had, which got me in Juarez City. So the next thing is I got an agreement with a newspaper that I could go through their archive. And sure enough, a lot of pictures here came from that analysis in the archives of the newspaper. I was in Aleppo, I was in Damascus in Syria in 2017. But the title I had for the work when I showed it was War Changes Its Address. And that title keeps that work contemporary. It's utterly present. I mean, it changed its address in the last few days. It's going to have Iran in it now. It has Lebanon in it in the last few days. It's fucking awful. Pictures don't all look the same, but there are certain aspects of the technique which is, I do use a very watered down paint It's allowed to move of its own accord on the canvas. It is controlled by moving the canvas, but also in what is left, what I choose to cover up and what I don't cover up. Technique is it's a fundamental responsibility to get it correct and to use it, you know, because if it's fucking awful, no one will show it. You know, it's in that area.
Is it fair then to say that your response to capitalism is the unifying?
It is indeed. It is indeed. Taken individually, they're anecdotal events, but when it's put together, it's a critique of capitalism. When you put all the pictures together, which is what they've done here in this exhibition.